It's the MOPOWERZ, where knowledge is key. How are you all doing today? Me, I'm doing absolutely fabulous on another fantastic day. That's right, it's another fantastic day, despite all of the madness that has been going on in the world. But today, this video is entitled George Floyd, Rest in Peace, Unanswered. I had a lot of thoughts in my head surrounding his death, the whole situation, the scene, who was involved, where it was at, and those things and events that possibly could have taken place because of all of this. But I myself, if you really look at the thumbnail, I personally went to Minneapolis to see the aftermath of what has transpired because of George Floyd. And when I went to Minneapolis, I saw a lot of damage in the community. I saw a lot of people reading in the community. I saw a lot of plainclothes police in the crowd. I saw murals of Michael Brown. I saw murals of Breonna Taylor. I saw murals of Black powerful figures that was prominent during the 60s. Those thumbnails, photos I was used as thumbnails in future videos, whether it be this channel or the Mo Show Chicago channel. And if this is your first time watching Mo Powers, I highly recommend that you press that subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. In fact, I have another page, the Mo Show Chicago. I need you to go press that subscribe button as well. I need 100 subscribers to get into another door. You say you haven't got 100 subscribers yet? I guess I haven't. But I've been putting in a lot of work that takes time, effort, energy, and patience, and your own thinking, which is critical to any message that you're going to bring to anyone or have a conversation with. You have to do your own thinking because other people will lead you astray. And sometimes you can use the information that others have used to further your investigation. So it can go both ways. But I personally, as I said, I went down there to Minneapolis, and what a sight to see. What a sight to see. You had roses, you had the street, and it just had the names of all of young Black men and women that were killed by police in America over the last 20 years, something to that effect. Not even that. I can't say that, but just in Minnesota, there was a lot of names in the streets. Then you have another site, which is around the corner, maybe a block away, but you have this site where it has the Say These Names, and it's a nice little field, and it has all of the names that's written on the with roses that's laced with these names. But in this field, they have them like the Arlington Cemetery or any military cemetery. They have those rolls for the dead in that exact way. Pretty touching. I mean, you still had Antifa out there. You had undercover police, and it's still tension in the air. You got people out there talking about God. You got churches out there. You got people handing out masks. Then you have some people that's just getting along. White, brown, red, yellow, green, purple, blue, the rainbow effect. But there's a lot of things that people like myself want to know, George Floyd, even though you're resting in peace, there's still some unanswered questions, critical questions that we need to know. People have made their own assumptions or their own conclusions, and some of those theories have been phenomenal. But one thing that I find very strange, George Floyd, may you rest in peace. But one thing that I find very strange is we cannot verify your date of birth. I researched and I researched and I researched, and you know how normally when a person dies or passes away, they have this, you have a record of the day that they were born and the day that they died. Well, George Floyd, we did not see any date of birth, but we saw your date of death, but no date of birth. That's weird. That raised a thought-provoking question. That raised a thought-provoking question. Why they don't have a date of birth for you, but they have your death. And what was the autopsy? What was the madness of all of the autopsy about? Why did they want to know about your heart? Why did they try to cover it up with COVID-19? When the world saw what Derek Chauvin did to you, or what the world thought Derek Chauvin did to you. Now I know that when they have celebrities die, or they have someone of value to the people die, and George, you have lots of value to the people here because cities were sacrificed because of that which they saw on television and what people recorded on their phone cameras. So why did they have an open funeral casket for you? Why didn't they let those who record and see your body? I mean, if they did the autopsy, I'm sure they went inside your body. They was going to just stuff you with something anyway and put it over your body. Okay, so we wouldn't have seen what the autopsy, where they cut you at and everything, because you would be clothed. But why didn't they let the world see the last remains of you? I mean, James Brown, Muhammad Ali, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean, these people saw them, and they were more famous than you. So that just led me to that thought-provoking question. And another one is when the EMT showed up, George Floyd, why did the EMT squad, why were they cops? They weren't EMT people. They were cops with a gun and a vest asking about your pulse. They were cops, not EMTs, George. Was this a Masonic Black Janus ritual, George? Seeing that the word had gotten out that you were a 33rd degree Mason. Was this a Janus ritual where we get January from? But this was a Gemini Janus ritual, right? Should we be expecting one in November, seeing that another ritual should be coming up? Who would be that victim? And what would be the ritual? Why did they sacrifice you, George? Did you know Derek Chauvin, after working at the same place for a year with him? Did you know him? What was your relationship with him? What was your relationship with him? We would really like to know. These are unanswered. Why did they take you out of the car when they had you in the car? Why did they take you out of the car, George Floyd? Was it really over $20? Was it really over $20? Cities have been sacrificed because of this. People have lost their freedom. Retailers are out of business. Business establishments burned. George Floyd. Is Derek Chauvin, was he really a cop? George Floyd, was he really a cop? Was his badge even real? Was it, George? Seeing that you were a Mason and everything, and Masons killed you, was that a hit? Was it a Janus ritual? Was it staged? Some people don't believe that you're dead, but where can you go when the world knows what you look like? So I would say that you're dead, but you still have others that don't think that you're dead. George. George. You got 3 kids or 5 kids? Which one? You got 3 or 5. And when that police was fired, why was there 100 cops surrounding his house if he was fired? When the protesters came to his house, why was police around Michael Freeman's house when the protesters came? Well, I can see Michael Freeman, but you, Derek Chauvin, was not a policeman anymore. Why did they protect you? Why did they protect your house, even though you wasn't there? George, can you answer that for us? Unanswered. George, did you know that days after this happened to you, another incident took place in Paris, where you had another white policeman having his knee on the neck of a brother, suffocating him. 2 days after that, you had another brother in Spain on the ground, knee in his neck by a white cop. And they didn't care if you video recorded them either. So, George, was this a CIA hit? Was this staged to bring world confusion and madness to the atmosphere so that something else in the background could take place? Like a change of the guard, meaning a change of power, a change of how they want us to be? Were you the sacrifice? Did you know that you were going to be the sacrifice if you were a sacrifice? Help us understand. Help us understand. Like I say, the best minds here on the streets here on the YouTube streets. Say that it was a hit. Say that Mr. Chauvin is a CIA agent. And those people who are in charge, they are Masons too. Is this really Agenda 21? Part of Agenda 21? Whatever the reason is, George, we hate that it was you. And not only was it for you, it was for Breonna Taylor, it was for Michael Brown, it was for Ahmaud Arbery. And speaking of Ahmaud Arbery, did you all know that the same defense attorneys that Zimmerman had, George Zimmerman, those attorneys are the McMichaels attorneys down there in Georgia. What would happen if they don't get convicted, George, seeing that another black man was sacrificed prior to you? Did you have knowledge of that? Did you have knowledge of Breonna Taylor was going to die, George? So many unanswered questions. So the real devils, meaning the diabolical people who run this country, is not going to tell us. So we have to come to our own intellectual and educated conclusion of what happened. Whatever our conclusion has become or is, it was a tragic. And if this was a CIA op, a CIA hit that sparked worldwide madness, it did what it was supposed to do, because that second wave of stimulus checks that people thought was coming, that's gone, and that's in the news. But who knows what could happen? Because they can make anything happen, seeing that they are the masters of illusions. You can sit there and watch somebody die. You can sit there and watch somebody die. And after the media finishes telling you, they will make it seem as if that person is not dead, because this world makes ups looks down, and down look up, left look right, and right look left. That's how it operates. And if you don't do your research or do your critical thinking in regards to any worldly events, you will be sheep for the slaughter. You must remember, we are the prey, and we got a lot of wolves after us, because it's open season on us, young black man, young black woman. It's open season. So prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Because it's not even summer yet. In a couple of weeks, it will officially be summer. There's more madness to come. And even after they've killed you, George Floyd, they still continue to kill us. Stay away from the popo. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke weed in your car while you're driving, black man, black woman. This is war. And while I was in Minnesota, I didn't really ask the people too many questions, because you had cops out there, you had agents out there, and I had to move low key. But as I stated, my photos you will see as my thumbnails. I have other footage that I can show you, but I have to edit it and chop it up and all of that stuff. I just wanted to drop a live. I could have did the PowerPoint presentation and all of that stuff. I just wanted to get this out the way so I can move right along to a next project and get things popping off. But this one here has been a wrap on the George Floyd case, aftermath, murder, hit, stage, whatever. MOPOWERZ, where your third eye makes you shine like jewelry. Thanks for watching, and press that subscribe button. Press that subscribe button. Thanks for viewing.